Greetings and welcome. I'm Psychic Medium Roberto, and I truly hope you're doing well. I'm guided and blessed by Spirit. You too can be blessed by Spirit. Trigger warning: the subject matter is of a mature nature and deals with true crime events. All cases are treated as alleged until proven in a court of law. That includes mentioning of names, are innocent and otherwise till proven guilty or not in a court of law. So, a while back I asked for cases, and again Kimberly Porter came up. And I did look at it when I did the viewer show. However, on this occasion, when it pinged through from the Peaches episode, it pinged really hard. So I've had a look. And of course, there's a lot more information that's out there that you may be aware of. To be honest, I wasn't really aware of Kimberly. Of course, we are dipping our toe back in the cesspool known as P. Diddy and the boys. And so Kimberly, if you aren't aware, like the 1% of me, had an off and on relationship. Let's just say that they were never technically married, had children together. And then she passes at a very young age, 47, November the 15th. Well, that is the recorded day of death, right? Unfortunately. So I'm going to test the theory. I did a little bit of research, watched a couple of videos, and Diddy's date of birth is on the right there, November the 4th, 1969. And then I've got Corey Gamble, November 10, 1980. Quite connected is Mr. Gamble. He's busy having dinner with the Mama Kardashian. Alright, so let's have a look and see what's going on. So, there was moments. Let's look at a month before, but that is a really deep dive. I've gone from November the 8th into November the 15th, and I believe we have information here. So let's just start off by the actual day that's recorded, right? And let's test. It's always important to test context, or let's say narrative, against what we're seeing in the numbers. So the narrative goes, she was feeling a bit fluish, illish, approximately a month leading up to her passing. Whether that's true or not, we'll have a look at that. But certainly near the end days, and then past November the 15th. Or at least, well, let's call it declared deceased on November the 15th, right? Anyway, so we start the day with 15/6. Is problematic in that it can be a forgery, it can be misinformation. There's a 5 and then the 6. So something, it's not completely off, but something's off. Okay. 26/8 hidden, and then we have a 17/8. So they say pneumonia or some form or offshoot of pneumonia. These numbers, if it was this day, November the 14th, like if it was declared November the 14th was the day, then I'll say yes. Because when we're talking about lungs, the number 7 are lungs. Okay? So when you get a 16/7, you have air, oxygen through to the lungs, which means the human is breathing, right? So November the 5th, 15th, when we're seeing these 8, 17, 8, 17, 8, if that was ever possible, 17, 8 can be a cover-up. And we look at 26, 8 because now, in my opinion, this is post-mortem day anyway. 26, 8 speaks about a staging. And I was getting a couple of hits energy-wise while I was preparing this. 37, 10, 1, 28, 10, 1. See, here's a problem. 37, 10, 1 in a suspicious death, in my opinion. Why are we having higher ups? Big chitter-chatter, big network. By the way, 19, 10, 1, a contract has been fulfilled. 10, 1, muchos money. This day ends with a 10, 1, 1. Talks about money, transactional. So something's definitely off there. If we look on the +1 day, November 16, we see 16, 7 occur. So that could possibly speak about asphyxiation, right? Let's go with what the numbers are presenting versus the narrative. But so the narrative says 16, 7. But now if we go to the next line, we're seeing an 18, 9. So now, because 18, 9 signifies murder, 1, the 16, 7 takes a different name now, takes a different meaning. Oh, so was it strangulation as the cause of death? See what I'm saying? It's not necessarily. So if she has a natural death, supposedly as a pneumonia or lung issue, right? So she's got a lung issue, she passes. Why does it signal as a murder? We'll go deeper. And hidden, we have a 27, 9. So now, when you bring in numbers like 27, 9, which is an extension of murder, which is now premeditated murder. Now we're talking, was there a plan here? Was this, okay, we'll go with the numbers, let's see. Now 38, 11, 2, 38, 11, 2 is as big as 37, 10, 1. Right, so what do we mean by this numbers? 37, 10, 1 is your higher ups, people in official positions, if you want to call them official positions, because they create their own laws and regulations. With Clive Davis up his, and Diddy up his, and everyone's doing the favor. Well, let's just call them higher ups, for lack of a better word. Now, when you get a 38, 11, 2, those higher ups are communicating with each other. So there's already a knowing of what has happened here. And we may have a similar issue with what I believe, and some of you have agreed, with Peaches, is here we have a 20 outcome 2. Someone is not happy here. So now let's just say motive 20 outcome 2 is because Kimberly not happy. Who would be? She meets this guy when she's very young, like most of the boys that Diddy met, boys to men and all of that. But they're all men now, but they were with him, So there comes a times in someone's life, it doesn't matter what time, your awakening is your awakening. So now I'm interested, she speaks out, right? So I want to see, because now here it reveals what the issue is, 20 outcome 2 here. Now I want to backtrack in the numbers. I want to find this 22. Where do we see it again? Because remember, November 16 is now reflective in some parts of the November the 13th as an example. But in this case, I want to look at where is 20 outcome 2. And we see it here on November the 9th, hidden 20 outcome 2. So now we're going to start following the trail. And what is this outburst about? Oh, there's an 11-2 here, which is an illegal activity. Something unlawful has happened here. Now this is quite alarming, and what I mean by that, there are many 11 outcome 2s at play here. Yes, we're in November, 11-2 naturally, but the year is also an 11-2. So we're getting all of these 11-2s in play here. This on one hand is quite scary from a mental health situation. Having all of these 11-2 can bring around a lot of instability, a lot of insecurity actually. Insecurity can come around. Well, insecurity is more 7. 7 is insecurity. But 11-2 brings thoughts of doubt. I mean, you can include suspicion. It's like a little bit wobbly, 50-50. Uncertainty is the best word to describe it, right? Now, on the day that we see this hidden 20 outcome 2, there's an 11-2 conflict, 1. So there's an issue here, big issue. Then we see that there are 4 11-2s. So yeah, this day here, November 9, for me, is where the ball technically starts rolling, that would ultimately end, unfortunately, as the narrative as we know today, the passing of Kimberly. Now let's go one day back. Bear with me. I've discovered some, and I'm sure we'll discover more as we go. November the 8th. November the 8th is where I believe the communique comes down the line, if you will. November 8. Now already, and this will be consistent throughout November, and particularly in this year, we already have 3 11-2. So, you know, if there was ever time for dark deeds to flourish, it would be this time, right? Because you're getting a lot of unlawful activity. You know, I'd hate to think about what people were going through at this time in the real, particularly around mental health issues, because all these 11-2s are very detrimental. Now, November the 8th, it's almost like the communication comes down the pipeline. 8, communication. So what is the word? What is being communicated? 19-10-1, transactional. There's an operation that's been kick-started. Remember, November 15, we see these 19-10-1 motherfuckers here, right? Outcome 30, outcome 3, 21-3, 12-3, ping pong ding-a-ling with Mr. Corey Gamble. Look here, 30, outcome 3, I'll make them green. So a communication has come down, and who does it impact? It impacts the person with 30, outcome 3, 21, 3. The likelihood is increased by about 99.99%, if that's not clear enough. Interestingly, about Mr. Corey here, he has a 39-12-3. Now, I heard one commentator say Corey is a fixer, allegedly popcorn, choose your own sprinkles and spices. When you got someone with all these threes, is about control. Now, let's just say in the positive, producers, people who are producers, who are effectively fixers. We see these numbers in Brad Pitt as well. He's a producer. 39, 12, 3, 33s. These are all problem-solving numbers. So that's what gives him the fortitude to handle situations. And of course, with experience, time, and the propensity for evil deeds, 18-9. Not all of you. Only if you fine-tune several numbers together to get a dangerous cocktail where a young lady has passed. So we know the end game. It's not, someone didn't do a good deed at the end of the day. It's not a good deed reading. These, we are uncovering bad deeds. He also has the 11-2. Lots of threes, that guy. Huh? So next day, November the 9th, we see a 9 here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, 9 is not a good thing. So I will just say, first of all, before we continue, and I'm just going to make it as clear as possible, I don't believe November the 15th is a day at all. I might go with November the 14th, but there's even evidence possibly November the 11th was actually the D-Day. And I've done a 369 here, November the 11th, 369, and this is a terrible tale here. But let's just look at emotional markers and numbers that are out of sequence here. 31-4, so November the 9th, right? Outcome 31-4, 22-4, 13-4, 4. There's a direct ping pong with Diddy there. Direct match as well. So people are talking to each other here. There's a deal going down. So November 10, we got a 10-1 transactional number coming in. 12-3, 21-3. Mr. Corey, 32-5, we've got all the fives there. So this is where 32-5 is where the criminal elements enter. Because now you're dealing with, so on one hand, narcotics. You're also dealing with illicit underground groupings that can organize things. The giveaway and the clincher for me in this case, in that I do believe there was foul play, and I'll prove it, is the following, the next day. Because I watched a video saying, oh, Diddy went out of his way to get an in-house nurse or doctor situation or whatever setup it was. So have a look here, November the 11th. First of all, we got a triple 11-2 plus another 11-2. This, yeah. If the universe was screaming, laws were being broken, this was the day. Now, of course, 11.2 times 4 was already a problem. Doesn't necessarily mean that's the day she died, or there's, it can mean many things. Let's continue. So we see a 13.4, so there's a death here. 13.4, there's a death. Now, the clincher for me, now remember, we've got all of these 11.2s around a 13.4. So why is it registering as a 13.4? We'll carry on. 22.4 is a hidden medical facility or a medical facility. So now we can say, okay, here's evidence that there's some kind of, she wasn't in a hospital as far as I understand it. She was being cared for at home, Diddy paying for the bills. Now here's where the paradox comes in, if there isn't already with all those 11.2s, right? 33.6, 24.6, 15.6, 6. So now we're talking poison in play. We're talking toxins, lethal, toxic toxins. We'll get confirmation. Now this 15.6 also pings on Diddy. Diddy features in the next day as well. So November 12. So here's something interesting. All right, so this is, okay, let me see. Okay. Because the next day is a giveaway, but let me just conclude November 11 to answer the question. So 13.4 can be a natural death, accidental death. Okay. Given the context of the situation, with all of these 11.2s, so here's a theory within what I believe is taking place here, why it's registering as 13.4. November the 12th starts with a 12.3. Now 12.3 on its own, let's say, given the context she's at home being cared for, 12.3 equals nurse. 12.3 is a nurse. So now we've got a nurse in play. So I'm going to hold it there. We're going to go back one day. So we got this hidden 22.4, which we can say is this little facility or hospital set up within the home, whatever it is. When we start getting the illicit drugs on November the 10th, and we bring it into the environment of the home, the call may have been, and this is why I believe there's a 13.4 here, to be made to look like a natural death. Because the reason why there's an issue with this 13.4 is because of this 33.6 afterwards. If it was a natural death, there would be, in my opinion, different numbers here, the outcome. And if we go to November the 12th, so we got the nurse on the scene. Now, male, female, doesn't matter. There's a caretaker, 12.3, nurse. Now, why would this nurse be present at the scene but registered as let's say, as a lie is one hand, but or is this person representing or pretending to be a nurse? So 14.5 says there's bullshit in the air here. You see, the numbers are contradicting each other. That's what. Well, the numbers aren't contradicting each other. The numbers are contradicting, and the narrative are contradicting each other. Does that make sense? So there's half truths here. But hidden, we have a 23.5, which speaks about a hidden, wider community. 14.5, a smaller community. Something's not right here. So, in my opinion, I believe November 11 is highly problematic for me. You see, here we have Kimberly's outcome numbers: 35.8, 17.8. In the middle, 15.6, 24.6 by someone familiar, and there's a death, still registered as a 13.4. 13.4 in the plus 9 gives us the 22.4, and here's the 22.4 here. This was made to look like a medical death. However, it's still, yes, that's true. Well, in my opinion. But in the middle here, 15.6 speaks about the poison as well. Death by poison. So how can death by poison be a natural death? Unfortunately, I also don't like these numbers afterwards. 35.8, 26.8. You know, poison is not very pleasant in my opinion. I must say, Kimberly has really extraordinary numbers. Very creative person, versatile, 27.9, 18.9. These are your top creative numbers in the entertainment industry. 17.8, also about performance, art. 44.8 power number. She's a Megatron. 8, very present physically. This is where the performance comes from, the performance arts. She's got all the arts numbers here. 17.8 stage. I beg your pardon. 17.8 is the individual artist, performer. Beg your pardon. 26.8 is the stage. 26.8 is the stage. 35.8 is like putting shows together. She's got the gall and the chutzpah to put big productions together because she has a 44.8. That's the industrious power number, 44.8. Very good, powerful arts numbers here. Propensity for high learning with all the 9s. Very, very good numbers, actually. So I believe the red blocks, and we're going to go to them individually now, is where the truth will be found. There's a massive law that's been broken here. 11.2, screaming unlawful, unlawful, unlawful. There's ceremonial aspects, ritualistic aspects involved as well. This is what I'm saying. There's like, on this level, she's in a hospital, 22.4, 13.4. Then immediately afterwards, she's in like a dungeon. Do you know what I mean? This 14.5 that speaks about the boy club. 16.7, and here we have the issue, hidden 25.7, so issue with Diddy. It can't be, the issue can't be with Corey because they aren't connected that way. The people that have an issue are connected in union, spiritual union. And it, by all accounts, has appeared to come to an end with a 16.7 and all the 9s here. This is where the 9s get dark. And it's registering as murder. So in the +6, in my opinion, we're seeing all of these transactional numbers in the middle here. 28, 10, 1. Big operations going on. Oh, you'll recall in previous episodes, when you get your outcome numbers, the higher up the numbers go, the smaller the sample size gets. So interestingly, in the +6 of where I believe everything goes down, we see a 39, 12, 3. Corey Gamble, 39, 12, 3. We're just playing ping pong. If you've just joined us, please grab your popcorn, choose your own sprinkles. So 17.8. So have a look here. In the +9 where all is revealed. Remember we spoke about that 20 outcome 2? Here's it here. Here's the reason. And we saw this with Peaches as well. People want to voice their opinions. But of course, when you catacombed in echo chambers with rules and regulations made by humans, there appears to be deadly consequences in these groupings. We also note the hidden 31.4. So this is, so a viewer correctly points out 31.4 is death. Yes, 4 is death effectively. But 4 is more effectively a medical death. But now, when we flip the optics and we look at 31.4, 31.4 becomes skeletons in the closet. So she knew about skeletons in the closet, which are obviously playing out now. 2024, I saw a short video, something about she had written a book or she was busy with a book. 22.4, 13.4 also speaks about the book. 22.4 is the manuscript, by the way. So there's a hidden manuscript somewhere. And I will just like to clarify, it needs to be further tested in the courts of wah and wo and where. The guy that made a massive sale on Amazon, and it needs to be tested, but I'm just giving reference in numbers. That book, 60 pages, 60 odd pages is what I'm getting to. I'm not talking about the authenticity of the text within that book. That's another story. But I'm just showing 13.4 will be that size of a book, or a little bit more. It's like 13.4 is a novel. Okay? But when you got a 22.4, we are talking like volumes. It's the Lord of the Rings part 1, 2, and 3 type material. Now, in my opinion, there still may be a hidden manuscript somewhere. Don't go running there if you don't want to get in trouble. I'm just saying there's potentially, I heard a video, she had apparently been writing a book. The book that supposedly was sent to that particular author who came up with 60 pages is more of a 13-4 number book. And possibly a 13-4 is a bit more dense because let's say it's a complete novel. But 22-4 speaks about volumes of paperwork. And here it's reflected as well in the +9. What's going on here? There's a divorce of sorts. I know they weren't married. But 42-6 speaks about the opposite of family. This is the breaking of family, breaking of a relationship, relationship number 6. And of course, in some kind of ritualistic way, 33-6, by your familiar people again, 24-6, 15-6, older male. So in my opinion, we can play ping pong with lots of numbers, but my first review, I will say, Fumpy, foul play, 14-5, foul play. We are getting mixed, conflicting numbers versus what the narrative is saying. And the numbers are revealing that there's foul play at hand because there is an outburst of, I'm going to tell it all, write about it all, publish it all, part of, definitely significant part of. But there comes a point in every person's life, regardless of how old, in cycles of abuse, where enough is enough. And unfortunately, Kimberly, like many unfortunate women around the world, their spouses only know how to think with their meat sack. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is an unfortunate case in the build-up, and probably this will come out, or more will come out about the Kimberly case when everything starts unraveling even more with Diddy. And Diddy's now got a new cell buddy next door there. Luigi, making me a pasta. All right, Diddy, I'll bring you more oil now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit off the hanger there. And please leave your comments, thoughts. I do love engage with them. Please stay safe, stay alert, and have a blessed new year. Bye for now.